Tuesday, Facebook friends. Welcome to Crayola's Facebook page. I am Lynn Lilly from Craftbox Girls, and I'm sure some of you are regulars and have seen me here, but I am here every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern giving you 3 different crafts that you can make at home. And so today, we are going to be using zip top bags. I know you probably have these in your cabinet, and keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a brand new one. You can have used one to store food in it, cleaned it out, and you can recycle it for the crafts that we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be making 3 crafts with our zip top bags. And as we get started, I would love to know who's watching. I'm going to be monitoring the comments over here. So make sure you give me a shout in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. And if you've got questions as we go through the projects, post those questions. We'll do our best. If we can't answer them live, we've got a team that is commenting and responding as quickly as possible. All right, guys, so here's the deal. Grab your zip top bags. You're also going to need some paint for this, and Crayola has an amazing portal. If you guys haven't been to Crayola.com and seen all of the awesome tutorials they have, and the free downloadable coloring sheets. If you are looking for something to do with your kids, it's a quick and easy activity. So you can print out a bunch of different sheets. So I actually found 3 different ones that were all ocean scenes. So I printed them out and I cut my ocean characters apart. So check out all these little different ones. We will post the links to these coloring sheets so you guys can access the exact ones that I have. There was also a larger shark that came with it, but these are the ones I decided I wanted to use. And as we're getting started, I'm going to go ahead and refresh over here so I can get the video up and start viewing your comments. Things are a little different. We're filming from my basement. My husband is behind the camera. We used to have my mom doing comments, but she is now upstairs watching Brennan and I's child. So we're making it work just like you guys are at home. All right, so let me get this guy up, and then I will be ready to be able to, there we go, monitor your comments. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, give me a shout in the comments. We've got a few. Hey, Monica. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Juana. All right, guys, let's get started. So we've got our bag. You want to go ahead and open it up. Now you might have something like I do on this one that allows you to write something on. Use the opposite side of that, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my cutouts inside my bag. Arrange them in an ocean, and you don't have to do ocean. You could do a nature scene or really whatever you want, but I like the way ocean works with this craft. All right, so put a few of those in there to get started. Then I've got some of the Crayola acrylic paint here. Now I am going to trace over these guys with my acrylic paint. So the fun part about this is that it doesn't have to be super neat. So I'm going to trace around my lines because we're going to go back and kind of clean up those lines in just a little bit. So I'm going to add my yellow in for my fish, and I'm going to paint around. And you can kind of add in your own designs if you want. Now you don't have to trace. You could freehand your own designs, but it's a lot easier to trace, and there are so many different coloring sheets that you can download and print for free on Crayola's website. All right, so I did some yellow. I'm going to come back in, do my other little scales on my fish red to fill that in. And if you guys are just tuning in, welcome. I am Lynn Lilly. I am here every Tuesday and Thursday this month at 1 p.m. Eastern, sharing 3 crafts that you can make at home with your family. And today we're using zip top bags. All right, so I've got my fish design, right? So now what you want to do is you want to let that dry, okay? You want to paint a few of your different ones to create your whole oceanscape. Let it dry. Set it aside, and then once it dries, you're going to see designs like this. Now, I'm using one of my Crayola metallic markers. You want to use a permanent marker, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to outline my designs. So this is going to kind of clean up my lines a little bit. You can add some more details to it, but I'm just going right over the edges of the paint. And you can use different colors if you want. I just like black because it makes my designs stand out. So do that with all of the different things that you've painted. And you'll kind of see how some of these look. I went ahead and worked on some of them. I would have to finish my little whale there. But you kind of do all of your different characters, and you don't have to worry about the paint's not going to look perfect, but that's okay. So you're going to set that aside. What you're going to need for the inside of that is a black sheet of construction paper. So what you want to do is you want to cut a sheet of construction paper to fit inside this bag, okay? So that's step number 2. So you're going to cut that construction paper, and then we're going to make a flashlight. I know you guys are probably like, where the heck is this craft going? But trust me, it's super cool. So out of my white construction paper, I cut out the shape of a flashlight. I kind of gave it a little rounded, what will be like my light flare that comes off of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and color it in and just create a flashlight, whatever you think a flashlight should look like. But the important part is that you have that white flare at the top, because that's kind of where the magic happens with this craft. All right, so color it in, and then maybe you put a handle on it. You put some switches kind of on there, totally up to you. But then add some little light rays. I'm using my yellow, and then I'm gonna come back in with my orange, and we're about to put this all together. And before we do that, I'm gonna give you some shout outs really quick. All right, we've got Malvika, I think I said it right. She's excited to see the finals. You're gonna see it in just 1 second. We've got Jessica tuning in from Indiana. She's watching with both of her daughters, one who is 1 and one who is 12. Hello. We have Lynn. I love meeting other Lynns, who's from PA, tuning in. We've got Katie, who's from New York. We've got Tony from Maryland. We've got Leah, who's a first time. Welcome. You got to be a regular now. Who's watching from Oregon. All right, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and get the notifications from the Crayola page, because you'll find out, you'll get a little notification every time I'm live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. with crafts you can do at home. All right, you guys ready for the reveal? This is super cool. Okay, so you put your black piece of construction paper in your bag, right? So you can kind of see, it's kind of hard to see the design once that's in there, but that is the point. So we've got our flashlight here. You ready for the magic? You stick your flashlight in your bag, and it looks like a real flashlight lighting up your design. So this is really fun for the kiddos. They can have tons of fun with it. They can tell some stories, but it's like they're exploring the ocean at night with their flashlight. All right, do you guys like it? Tell me if you like it in the comments. And if you have some friends that are looking for some things to do with their families, please tag them below or share this to your page. You know, it's tough times trying to entertain your kiddos, so it's nice to share that love and ideas with everyone. All right, number 2 is stained glass painting, except we're not using glass. We are using a zip top bag. So who loves stained glass, or who has ever tried to paint a stained glass piece before? Well, this is a really good intro. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You'll notice I've got another gallon zip top bag. You can also do a small bag as well and just adjust your design. Now I've got the lilies that I downloaded as a free coloring page from Crayola's website. We'll post a link to this so you guys can do this, get this free download as well and print it at home. But there are tons of different designs you can use. Now, you may want to keep in mind, if you've got a bag that has that on the back, it's okay, but do it on the opposite side, because you can cut your bag apart and get rid of that. But you want to keep your bag together once you get started. So put your design inside the bag. Then you're going to need some black glue. So what we did was I took my Crayola washable glue that you see here. I poured it out in a cup, and I mixed in some black acrylic paint. So just mixed it up with my popsicle stick, and I went ahead and poured it back into a bottle that was pretty much almost empty, okay? So I've got my black glue in here, and now what we're gonna do, and I always like to have a little tester to the side to make sure my stuff is flowing properly. I'm going to use my black glue, and I'm going to outline my design. So you can also, if you want a thinner tip, you can put this in a squirt bottle if you've got it. But for me, I didn't have that. I was kind of working with what I had, and putting it back in the glue bottle worked well for me. All right, so you're gonna outline your entire design. You can also freehand. If you wanna do your own design, you can, but remember, you can get all those coloring pages at Crayola.com. They're all categorized too, so you can kind of pick the different designs you want. I'm using these fun flowers, but there's all kinds of stuff. There's animals, there's ocean life as you saw before, so tons of different things that you can do. So create your design. You want to finish the whole thing, and you want to let it completely dry. That's the important part. So let it completely dry before you move on to the next step. But for the magic of Facebook Live, I went ahead and did one ahead of time. So as you're looking at that, I'm going to give some shout outs. We've got Cielo, who says she loves Crayola crayons. Don't we all? Let's give a big hello to Katie, who says her 4-year-old would love this. We've got Tammy, who's tuning in from Kentucky. We've got Ben that says he loves it, so creative, and it's his first time. Well, welcome, Ben. I hope you become a regular. I'm here again on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern with 3 more crafts. We've got Bobby, who has 3 daughters. We've got Carrie Ann, who's watching from Minnesota. If you guys are just tuning in, we are crafting with zip top bags, and we are on craft number 2 of 3. So if you did miss the first one, no big deal. Once the broadcast ends, you can always go back, fast forward, rewind to see the first craft, which was our flashlight craft. I'll show you it again at the end. All right, so here's what it looks like. Once it's dry, let it completely dry because you don't want your black glue to mix in with any of your paints. So I'm using my Crayola washable paint, and I'm going to start with my yellow. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in my designs. So I'm going to kind of color in my flower here and here. You know what? Let me do this on top of the blue so it's easier for you guys to see. But I'm going to fill in my yellow. And if you do get some over that black, just use your finger to wipe it up. And you want it to be kind of thin and streaky. You don't want to have a full coat because you want to be able to see through it. Remember, it's stained glass. Okay, so we're going to move on. Let's do some green to do some of the leaves over here. And so you can kind of get as creative as you want, or you don't have to do traditional. You could even do some fun things like maybe you write your name on here in block letters and add that in. So once you get it fully painted, let it dry, and there's a couple different things that you can do with it. So if you've got an embroidery hoop handy, you can cut out your design and put it in your embroidery hoop to hang by your window, or you can also put it in a frame. So there's lots of different things that you can do. I've got my blue metallic washable paint here to kind of show you guys. Gives it a little bit of sparkle, but whatever you have at home will work. Watercolor doesn't work so well, so just make sure you're using a washable or an acrylic paint. But once it is done, check it out right up here. So this is what it looks like on your hoop. How cool is that, guys? So all I did, my embroidery hoop, I didn't have both pieces because I'm working with what I got. I just glued it to the back of my embroidery hoop. So really fun. You can put this in front of a window, and maybe you don't have a big bag. You can also do a small bag. So what I did with that one is I just cut out a flower from another design that I found on Crayola and just did a small flower, and then I taped it on the back of that frame. So lots of different things you can do with it, but it gives you the illusion of actual stained glass when you put it up on your window. It's pretty cool, and it's a fun way to get creative with the kids. Maybe parents, you do the outlining part and then you let them color it in. So it can be a family craft that you do together. All right, craft number 3 is no mess, which I don't know about you, but Brennan, we love no mess, right?
We do.
We do. We've got a kid and we love no mess. Ben asked what kind of paint I was using. I was using Crayola's washable paint. Megan, hello from Texas. Barbara says she loves the stained glass. Thank you, Barbara. Mary Ann asked how long it takes to dry. So the glue will probably take about 4 hours to dry. So, and depends on where you live. If you live in a humid community, it might take a little bit longer. All right, so let's see who else real quick. Tammy, hello, should be fun to do. We've got Shannon from Texas. We've got Michelle from California. Jessica says she loves it. And we've got Belinda from Puerto Rico. All right, guys, I love hearing from you. So keep commenting and tell me where you're watching from while I get set up for the next craft. Okay, so this is no mess. And talk about mess. I just set my hands in the glue. So let me wipe off my hands here. It's me who makes the mess, not my kid, right? Okay, So now, here's what you can do. If you've got a countertop, you can just tape this to the counter, but I've got a piece of just poster board that I'm using that's scrapped that I use to kind of paint on. So you're going to take your zip top bag. So you want to use a gallon bag. Unless you're using a tiny surface, you can use one of the smaller bags. But I cut it into 2 pieces. You could do it as a whole, but trust me, when it comes to cleanup, 2 pieces is going to be the best and easiest way to do it. So you're going to want to take your first bag, put it down on your surface. I've got mine on poster board just to control my mess and be able to clean up easier, but I've done this before with my daughter, and I just taped it right to the countertop or right to the table, and I'm using painter's tape, so it won't damage your surface at all. Now, the important part about this is that you get that painter's tape on all 4 corners so that bottom piece stays stable. Now, use a canvas panel, or you can use a piece of construction paper, or you can use a stretched canvas, whatever you've got. It's got to be smaller than the bag. You could really just cut out a piece of any kind of paper and put this in here. Now, your next step is, and this is before you get the kiddos, so you put that in the center of the bag, you're going to take some paint. So a few little dollops of paint around your canvas. You can pick out whatever colors are your kids' favorite or whatever you really have at home. So just some small circles of paint, and pick a couple different colors that work together. I'm gonna add some pink. We'll put the pink right there. Oh, oops, my pink's almost done. You can tell I like pink because I use it a lot, right? And then I'm gonna add some yellow. So get your dollops, make sure you kind of spread them throughout the canvas, okay? All right, so now your next step, and you'll see this is why cutting the bags in half makes it really easy. You're going to take this back half of your bag and you're going to set it down on top of the canvas. You're going to take your painter's tape and you are going to add more painter's tape on top, and you want to make sure that your edges are sealed. You don't want any edges free because you don't want any of that paint to escape. So go ahead and get all of those edges done. And then this is where you go grab the kiddos. This is a really fun sensory craft too for the kids. Now, ready for it? You get your kids, and all they do is they can move their hands around and they can mush their paint. My daughter absolutely loves this. We've done it multiple times. And they can create their own design. So just like that, have them mush it around and they get to make their own piece of art. Now, when they're done, what you do, and this is why cleanup is easier, you take your painter's tape off, all 4 corners. Save your painter's tape because you can reuse it. And you're going to just take off that top layer. So get that painter's tape off, and then take off your top bag, and you can either wipe it off, so you could go wash it off, and because I'm using the washable Crayola paint, so you could wash off that bag and reuse this again, but you take this off. I'm going to set it back here, and then you just take this and let it dry, and once it's dry, your kids have a work of art. So check out this one that my daughter Lily did yesterday. So it takes overnight to dry because there's a good amount of paint on there. But how fun is that? It's a work of art for your kids with no mess. I don't know about you, but I'm a mom of a 2.5-year-old, and Brenda and I know that when she gets with paint, she gets messy. So that's a really fun craft for her to do. All right, let me do some more shout outs, and then we're going to recap on the 3 crafts that we made. All right, so Joanna says her kids would love this. Evelyn says hello from Spain. Thanks for tuning in. We've got Deanna from Puerto Rico. We've got Aditi from North Carolina. We've got Marianne from Dallas, Texas. We've got Pam, who says she's got a crafty daughter that loves different ideas. They're watching from Indiana. And let's see, we've got Ben. Ben is my new guy, and he says he's coming back. So we're excited. All right, and we've got Mary, who says hello from Florida. You guys are amazing. All right, so as a recap, we made 3 different crafts today using zip top bags. So our first craft was our flashlight bag. So we went ahead and painted on the bag and made some characters, made a flashlight to make an ocean scene. Our second craft was stained glass with our zip top bags. So you can create some really fun works of art that you can hang in front of your windows, and maybe it'll brighten the day of your neighbors, which is a good thing to do these days. And then we did no mess artwork painting for toddlers. So, and I don't know about you, but toddlers, I actually really like to do it. So it could be fun for adults as well. All right, that's all I've got for you today. A couple quick announcements. As a reminder, I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern this month, sharing 3 different crafts. And if you guys are making these projects, I want to see how they turn out. And if you're making other Crayola craft projects, make sure you use that hashtag Crayola crafts. We want to see what you guys are doing. And if you're still looking for more ideas, you may see some really cool projects I've got around the room. You can find tons of how-to tutorials and videos at Crayola.com/at-home. All right, and last but not least, who loves Lisa Loeb and nursery rhymes and coloring? Well, make sure that you tune into the Crayola page every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. A short video is released along with a coloring page that you can download so your kids can color and sing nursery rhymes along with Lisa Loeb. So lots of fun stuff happening here on the page. So make sure that you're subscribed and you're checked to get those notifications. We love to craft with you. I will see you again on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern for Feel Good Crafts. And if you loved it and you got friends who are looking for ideas, give me a heart, a thumbs up, tag a friend, or share it to your page. All right, guys, be kind. Try and inspire someone today. And I can't wait to see you right here Thursday at 1 p.m. Bye, guys.